Well, bad news. I spent about 15 minutes recording the video, but I found out that my external microphone, that does a better job of picking up my voice, ran out of battery, and so only the first minute and 20 seconds of the video was recorded, and the other 14 minutes was not. Which means I need to record the whole thing all over again. I guess I could look at this as a good thing, and that previous video was more of a rehearsal, so let's get started. So, the morning started out very brisk, very cool. I woke up around 6 o'clock because I had promised a coworker that I would be not transferring, donating my blood plasma with them at this company. And I promised I'd be there at 7. So I decided to get dressed, comb my hair, drink 3 cups of water, and go off on my way. The area was 17 minutes away. When I arrived, I was kind of bummed out to find that my coworker didn't arrive when they said they would, so it was just me. But they probably are busy. They've got their life they've gotta do, so it's fine. I was just expecting someone to be there, and now that they're not there, it's like, ooh, they're not there, but it's fine. So I went on my own. The environment of the location, the vibe, the feeling was one of sort of distancing, and everyone's like there for the same reason, which is, we all need money, and this donation center gives you cash, and we're willing to go through with it. So that's the vibe I got. Just everyone was there for making a quick buck. But the energy was a little strange. It felt like some people were sort of like disgruntled or like annoyed, or like they may be easily agitatable. I'm not exactly sure why. It's like, can't we just chill, guys? I mean, an example is like when I walked in, I was just looking at the different people who were there, and I just locked eyes with one guy for a second before, like, just going off to mind my own business. But then he said, like, "Hey, bleeper," and I was like, what the heck? I mean, maybe that's his way of greeting someone friendly like, but to me, I don't know, it just sounded kind of overly aggressive for no reason. Like, there's no need to act that way, but I guess that's the way he chose. Oh well. I decided then to keep to myself for the remainder of waiting in line. As I was waiting, I decided to do a few sketches of different patrons that were waiting in line with me. They were far away, so I was just like drawing them, because I find that when I draw, time goes by really fast, and I don't really notice how fast it goes until, I'm at the end of the line. But in the midst of waiting, there was someone who walked by who was part of the staff, who asked if there were any newcomers who were doing this thing for the first time. I said I was a newcomer, because I was, and they asked me to get to the front of the line so I could go confirm my identity, and then after that I was taken through like an orientation where I had to watch like a video about the establishment, why it's there, what it does, what reasons for collecting the plasma and where it goes. And then I was watching a video covering the terms of service of the location. And basically it was, if something goes wrong, you must consent to the fact that you acknowledge that we told you something might go wrong, so that way, like, in case there's any legal issues, then, we don't get in trouble. But, they put that stuff in everything now, so I just was done reading it. After that, I told them I was done. They wanted me to fill out a little questionnaire, 55 questions, to confirm I didn't have any issues and I was good to go. Once I filled that out, they put me through a little examining where they pricked my finger, if you can see that. And come on, focus. I don't think it's focusing. But anyways, yeah, they put a little spiky thing and they, pricked it and they squeezed a bit of blood in a little tube and they measured the protein levels in the blood to make sure it was verifiably plasma ready. And when they confirmed that, they checked my blood pressure. They confirmed that was good. They checked my weight. Apparently I weigh 156 pounds today. Guess that's a sign of me just enjoying myself a little too much with pizza and donuts and all that stuff. And after that, I was given a physical where I was checked for lymph nodes, and I had to consent to them to the donation process with the paperwork and all that. And finally, when all that was done, I was taken and I was asked, did I drink water? And I asked them, do I need to eat? They said, nah, you don't need to. I was taken to their machine where they stuck a needle in my arm, around here, and they drew blood, and that was brought into a machine which separated the plasma from the blood. There was a little thing that compressed around my arm that blew up, and whenever it blew up with air, I had to constantly move my fists like this to keep the blood pumping into the machine. And then when it decompressed, it was a little build up, relax time before repeating that. And that would go on for 5-minute cycles. The whole process took about 42 minutes, and when it was done, as it was going along, apparently they have an app for this location, so I downloaded the app. And once I made an account, the app confirmed that I would be receiving $75 for this visit. So, after the whole donation process was done, a doctor came in. He took the needle out. He put some blood absorber and gauze, wrapped it around my arm, and then I was given I was actually given the card after the physical exam and before the blood draw. And the interesting thing about the blood draw is because it's blood plasma, they only get the plasma and then they re-pump the regular blood back into your body, apparently is what's going on. Which is why you could do it twice a week, which is pretty interesting. But anyways, I was given a card that you apparently immediately get the funds around 5 to 10 minutes after the visit. So that's pretty cool. And then after that, I was done. I walked out, activated the card I was given, and then I decided to drive home. I was thinking about eating out somewhere, but then I was like, nah, we have food at home. I'll just save money and drive there instead. So I eventually arrived, and when I got there, I was greeted by our family friend, and I decided to, she asked, hey, could you heat up the leftover pizza from last night? I was like, sure. So I preheated the oven to 375 degrees. I put the pizza on aluminum foil, and once the oven was preheated, I put the leftover pizza in there for about 8 minutes. And as it was heating up, I decided to listen to a new Digital Foundry video where apparently they were talking about the new state of play that was being worked on. Or not worked on, sorry, shown. And I was like, there was a new state of play? I gotta check it out. So I found the new state of play, and it was a pretty interesting one. They're making a sequel to that PS5 launch title, Kena Bridge of Spirits. I forget what the sub name of this one is. I'm just gonna call it Kena 2. It basically looks like more of the same in terms of like the gameplay and design, but it also looks like it's going to be a really well-made game. I would say like it's got great art direction. It looks like a lot of fun. Definitely looking forward to that one in terms of just general visual splendor. Then after that one, there was just so many games. I'm not even going to cover all of them. I'm just going to cover the ones that were most interesting. That new Control sequel looks pretty dope. I like it. It looks like Prototype if Prototype was on drugs, I guess. Another one that I liked was there was like a chicken warrior game where you play as like a chicken. That was pretty weird and kind of memorable, I suppose. And oh yeah, Konami is releasing Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots on the modern consoles. So that game's been stuck on PlayStation 3 since it was released. So the fact it's finally coming to modern platforms and is being given new life is really great news for fans of that franchise. So pretty awesome win. And I guess the biggest news was the fact that their Santa Monica Studios is remaking the first 3 God of Wars with, like, I would presume modern, like, visuals and things like that, which that's pretty exciting, but they only had, like, just a teaser to show where they showed the 1, 2, and 3, and then they had the original Kratos voice actor come in and talk about what they were doing. And that's it. There was no like teaser in terms of gameplay or any of that. And I mean, is this Santa Monica's new project just a remake of a old PS2 trilogy, or with the PS3 one, of course? I mean, I guess it's kind of cool that they're giving these old games a fresh lick of paint. But on the other hand, it is kind of a shame. I was expecting them to, do something different. But hey, I guess it's the safer choice because people know what God of War is, and God of War's kind of drifted away from what it originally wasn't, intended to be, which was these high action, like octane experiences. So I guess it's kind of cool that they're bringing the series back to that, which that's nice. I'm really hoping. I mean, if they're just announcing it with some titles, I mean, it's clear it's extremely early in development. And if it's extremely early in development, and if I know how long game development takes, we're probably not going to see any footage or anything of it for 2 to 3 years. Which means, more than likely, when it does get released, it'll probably be either a launch title for PlayStation 6, or it'll be a cross-platform title released like a year later in the PS6's lifespan, and it'll also be available on the PS5, which wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't really play any of the God of Wars when I was younger. I think I tried playing the third one when it was like a free game available on the PlayStation Plus monthly giveaways. And I remember, this is kind of cool. That's all I got. Bye. So, yeah. But anywho, after that whole experience, I remember me and my sister got into talk about, like, conspiracy theories and, like, all manner of, like, how the presidents are, like, related and all this, interesting things, and it was pretty fun conversation, I would say. My mom eventually arrived. She brought some chicken, along with other goods from the grocery store. We took everything into the house and put it in to the house. And then I needed to use the restroom. And when I was done, I decided to work a little bit on the Simian Jimmy video, the Survivor video. I got a little bit done, like about four shots, so that's nice. And then I was called by my mom for lunch, which was basically chicken soup with squash and carrots, and yeah, it was really delicious, full-bodied chicken soup flavor combo. However, there was a salsa made by our family friend that was so potent that it got in the air and caused us to constantly cough extremely uncontrollably. So that was kind of annoying. After that, I remember I decided to chill out in my room and continue working on the Simian Jimmy video. I worked on it for like 4 hours. And I only got like another 3 shots done, so it wasn't really a whole lot, which is kind of a shame. But hey, at least I got a little progress done, so that's nice. After that, my mom wanted to watch the show Pluribus with me and our family friend, so we watched an episode. We watched like I think 2 episodes. One was the aftermath after Clara, I think is her name. She nearly kills one of the alien mind virus automatons. And so the automatons don't feel safe around her anymore. And so they all ultimately decide to get the heck out of Dodge and leave her Albuquerque, New Mexico town. And now when they help her, it's only through voicemail and drones, which is pretty funny. It's clear that they don't want to have any face-to-face contact out of fear that she's going to try to get the truth out of them by, doing things like drugging them and whatnot, which is what she did in the last episode. And that ends on like a surprising cliffhanger where apparently she found something that shocked her in a freezer in one of their facilities. And then we went to the next episode where it turns out that thing in the freezer were human parts, apparently. And when she found that, she decided to film it, and then she wanted to go to where the guy, one of the few 12 people who doesn't have the mind virus, is hanging out. He's like at a casino in Las Vegas, and he's enjoying himself, but like it's really just kind of all of a show to please him, where he's playing like a poker game against like a guy who's like trying to put up a front of a character, but really he's just part of the hive mind. And then the lady arrives, and when she arrives, all of the mind virus people decide to leave because they don't want to deal with her. And when she meets the guy, she wants to show him the footage she filmed of like the human body pieces. But then the guy pretty much is like, yeah, I already know about that. I was told about it by alien John Cena. And then he shows a video of John Cena talking about the whole reason why they do it. And apparently they do it because they can't kill anything, but there is consistently like bodies that are being disposed of, and they need protein in order for their human body hosts to survive. And so they decide to take parts of they cannibalize their own kind and put it in these weird beverages so that way they can drink it to maintain their protein needs. And apparently, like, this isn't a very sustaining model, and that if they continue down this path, then it potentially will die off within the next decade. So yeah, and then a bombshell is revealed at the end of the episode, where apparently the people who are still normal, who haven't been infected by it, find that apparently you need to consent to the scientists, if infected by the virus, to take part of like your bone marrow or from your DNA in order to create a certain sequence that will be able to make you just like them. And so that means that the beings need consent from the people who haven't been alien mind virused to allow them to become part of the hive mind. And when they find out about this, it basically leads to the lady essentially going, yeah, I ain't about that. So I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat, I do not consent to you turning me into one of you. And then they respect her wish. So she leaves, but earlier in the episode, she would record these update videos and send them to all of the normal people around the world by having the drones of the aliens pick up her recorded messages. And she even asked for the English-speaking people to translate those messages. And so apparently one of the guys who receives this message finds out that the lady is normal, and he's like a guy he's like Mexican, and he's completely secluded from society, and he's like in his little like, warehouse house. And when he finds out that this lady is trying to save humanity, he's all for it, so he wants to join in. And so he decides to get out of his house and go around to find a vehicle to take her to drive there where she is at. So yeah, a pretty interesting wrinkle in the story. I can't wait to see how that plays out. And that's pretty much what we watched from Pluribus. Really cool batch of episodes, I would say. Now, after we were done, my mom was tired. I was getting sleepy. I decided to go to my room. My mom went to her room. Of course, before I went to my room, I decided to snuggle our cat that was in my mom's room before leaving, Malcolm. And then when I went into my room, I decided to spend a great deal of time trying to use my drawing, a combination of, my drawing, ChatGPT's image generator, and Grok's video generator to try to create like an animated version of my day, see if that was possible. But I ultimately got unsatisfactory results that were a shame. So, yeah, major bummer. But it is what it is. Now, I got mentally exhausted from that, and then I tried to do my brain jam and my line work this night, but I just could only do 15 minutes, and I think the two reasons why is A, I woke up really early in the morning on only 4 hours of sleep, so right now I'm like really tired. And B, I think it just has something to do with maybe the blood plasma donation made me more tired and unable to get things done. That might be an excuse, but that's my theory. So I stopped, I took my vitamins, I brushed my teeth. My sister showed me some line work she was doing for her cat Call Me. I thought it was really funny and cute and hilarious. And then I decided to record this update video. So that's pretty much the day in a nutshell. Overall, I'm glad I was able to donate a sample. I'm hoping that I'll be able to return very soon and get things done. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody, and take care.